So the Board of Trustees that oversees the LA Department of Water and Power on Tuesday approved the utilities plan to increase water rates 4.7% each year over the next 5 years. So it's not just a nearly 5% hike. It's 5% every year for 5 years, and that goes up sort of geometrically. To talk to us about this right now, it's a pleasure to welcome back to the show the Controller for the City of Los Angeles, Ron Galperin. Ron, how are you, sir?
I'm very well. Good to be with you.
Appreciate you coming. I understand you weren't feeling well, so I hope you're getting better.
I had a little bit of a cold, and I am all better.
Okay. Well, welcome back. So, under the proposal, typical customers would pay $15 an extra, about 26% more on their monthly bills by the end of the 5-year increase, which doesn't sound like a lot. But the price of water and power in L.A. does continue to go up. DWP has always argued that actually they provide service at a lower cost than most municipal systems of a comparable size.
Well, DWP has been seeking this rate increase for quite a while, I think, as we all know. As you also may know, I put out a very comprehensive audit just last week in advance of this, actually almost 600 pages looking in depth into their infrastructure, into water recycling, into cyber and physical security customer service, which has been a real problem, as we know, and looking at what are the longer-term changes that have to come about at DWP in terms of really making it truly responsive. Because it's not just about rates. It's about making it a responsive utility.
Well, we got a ways to go to make that happen because, the DWP ratepayer, Fred Pickle, he said that it's just and reasonable, and a lot of folks are starting to ask exactly what in the world does Fred Pickle do for all that money that he gets paid, including a car allowance. The rest of us have to pay for our cars to get to work, but somehow he couldn't find his office without being subsidized, and then just rubber stamps basically everything that they want to do anyway. But that's a sidebar issue. The issue to me has always been, Ron, that the DWP, which is a public trust, it's a public utility, but the way it operates, it essentially has veto power over the general revenue fund budget of the city of Los Angeles because the excess, the profits, if you will, that are taken in by the DWP from ratepayers is turned over to the city council to fund programs as part of the general revenue fund of the city of Los Angeles. And we have seen in the past where the DWP has actually essentially held that money hostage unless they got rate hikes. And I don't think that it's almost become a de facto tax, if you will. If they run at a profit, then why are they lacking money for maintenance?
It's not really a profit, truth be told, I think, as we all know, because it has come at a cost of not investing in our infrastructure.
Right.
And we've seen this happen all over the city of Los Angeles in terms of pipes bursting. And by the way, we're not even addressing also the electrical infrastructure, which needs a lot of upgrading. And by the way, the whole issue of cybersecurity, which we are all becoming much more aware of, and that's going to require a massive investment as well. So you are right that the transfer definitely affects the ability to invest in that infrastructure. It's been a long-standing transfer, and the truth is that for better or for worse, the city has become unbelievably dependent on it to close its budget.
And would I be wrong to analogize this as essentially the DWP is a taxing authority in that it's a stream of revenue that runs vital services for the city of Los Angeles, but rather than being something that is voted yay or nay on either by the city councilors or by the people in a referendum, it's rate hike profits, quote unquote profits, again, knowing that they're not true profits, but that surplus that they turn over to the city is now vital to running the city. So in essence, they are just collecting taxes for the city of Los Angeles.
Well, as you know, I've been a real critic of a lot of what DWP does. Having said that, I don't know that I would really describe it quite that way for a couple of reasons. One, because their rates do compare very favorably to other utilities that are around the state of California. The other part of it is if they were a private utility, then they would be paying business tax, they would be paying property taxes, they would be paying a lot of different kinds of revenues that would make their way into the coffers of the city. But because they operate as a municipal utility, they don't.
I guess this is my dream, and it is a fantasy, undoubtedly, is that if the city of L.A. requires that money, the money that they get from the DWP, in order to fund the services and programs of the city of Los Angeles, then they ought to raise the taxes through the traditional methods to do so. And the DWP should then spend the money on maintenance so that we have it. What we've got is we've got a fake sense of what it actually costs to run the show around here, because this is this, sort of backdoor way of funding the city that I think creates an imbalance and creates an imbalance in political power, because the DWP, which is not elected by anybody, has a tremendous influence on city policy.
In the best of all possible worlds, I think you are 100% right on that. And that's why, by the way, one of the issues that we address in the audit that we came out with, which is almost 600 pages, it's sort of the mother of all audits, as it were, and we address issues of governance as being the number one thing that has to be addressed, because all of these other challenges that DWP faces, and by the way, there are a lot of things that DWP does very well in terms of delivering a high-quality water and relatively dependable power, all of those things, but you're not going to be able to move into the future unless we look at governance and also get rid of all the meddling that goes on. Our consultants noted that there is not really one entity and one coordinated group to set policy and to provide the specific goals and metrics. And so you've got a lot of cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah, well, it's fascinating, and so, we'll see whether or not we ever get any genuine structural reform here. But in the meantime, at least we've got data to look at that's important. Controlpanel.la. It's a must-see website. There's an awful lot of great information for the people of Los Angeles available there. Ron, thanks so much, and have a great holiday. We appreciate you coming on with us.
Thank you. Great being with you. And also feel free to check out utilitypanel.la, where we have a new DWP performance dashboard with lots of performance info.
Okay, great. Ron Galperin, City Controller. It's 9:23, Talk Radio 790 KB.